Hallo, herzlich willkommen, Deutschstudentin Deutsch 1. Welcome everyone. I'm Dr. Dettinger and I'm your instructor for German 1101 Summer 2020. I'm very much looking forward to working with you the next several weeks, and I wanted to use this video to go over different components of the class and what each week will look like for you. So let's get started. With this being German 1, we'll really be looking at the basics of the German language and also of German culture. Okay, so with that, as far as learning how to communicate, you'll be focusing on introducing yourself, saying hello, talking about yourself briefly, talking about your family, talking about university life and what you study, as well as your daily and weekly routines. You'll learn how to talk about your hobbies, things that you can do well, different obligations, talk about food and drink, things you like to eat, like to drink, where you like to eat, where you like to drink, etc. And also, you'll be working a lot in the present tense, and then by the end as well, a little bit in the past tense. With that, you'll be working on your reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills. And as far as language goes, you'll be able to learn about different word order in statements as well as in questions, things of that nature. So as far as the cultural side of the class goes, the course really has a heavy emphasis on culture, and this includes a number of items that you'll see from the course textbook as well as the online interactive program, and that includes varieties of ways to say hello in German and goodbye, also talking about university life, and how a German university may differ from an American university, or also how a home or an apartment is designed in Germany and the importance and differences of things like windows and doors and gardens and things like that. Okay, you also learn about the varieties of different clubs that are included in daily German life, ranging from different hobbies, hiking, to gardening, to different athletic clubs, things of that nature. Lastly, you'll learn a lot about German geography and the different regional differences from the north, the south, east, and west, just as we have different regional differences in the state of Louisiana and as well as the United States in general. The textbook that you'll be using is called Aufgeht's, okay? And it's going to be this book. And there will be an actual textbook as well as an ebook available to you. And this actually functions more like a workbook, where you'll have a lot of different exercises with reading and writing and vocabulary practice, things like that. And then the other component is going to be the interactive. And so for the next 8 weeks, really the next 7 weeks, we'll be going through chapters 1 through 5 from that book. And you can see here that I have a weekly breakdown, okay? Week 1, you'll be learning chapter 1. Week 2 will be chapter 2. Weeks 3 and 4 will be chapter 3. Weeks 5 and 6 will be chapter 4. And then week 7 will be chapter 5. So a lot of very important components are spread out over weeks 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Although every component is very important, but you'll see what I mean as far as workload goes. And then week 8 will be, you'll have that week available for you to schedule your final exam and also your speaking exam with me. So what you should be doing first and foremost is going through this introduction section, okay? The overview video, which you're watching now. There's a Q&A forum in case you have any issues along the way. These links will give you access to the online store to purchase your book, as well as how to register for the course itself with the interactive program. Okay, there's also a walkthrough on how to navigate Aufgeht's. Sorry, my dog is barking there in the background. You'll also have information here on how to use Flipgrid, which is the app that we'll be using for making our recordings, as well as accessing Zoom, The rubrics that I'll be using to grade your writing and your speaking exercises, access to an online dictionary, all kinds of tools for you to navigate through. So I recommend going through all this. Also here on creating a ProctorU account, which you'll be using for your final exam only. Okay, if we look at the start here section, here we have a lot of just helpful tips and resources for you on successfully taking an online course. Okay, the course syllabus and schedule are here. You will need to read over those to see how the grades are broken down, as well as access codes to the interactive program for you. Okay, I'm just going to scroll through this real quickly. You can look at this on your own. Also, before we get started, you'll want to go through this introduction, so to introduce yourself, and then to take this syllabus quiz. Okay, now on to the week one. Actually, before we do week one, I did want to show you how this breaks down. This is your the textbook's interactive online program. Each chapter is broken down into 4 sections, okay? And this program, as I mentioned, the textbook functions more like a workbook, whereas this interactive program it's a variety of things. It acts as a tutorial, a cultural overview, language overview, grammar overview. There's going to be some practice involved with it. There's online flashcards. There's going to be listening exercises that are either from video or audio. There are hundreds of video and audio clips that are actually very authentic. And so it ranges. So if you click on one of these, for instance, 1.1, you will see here, okay, that we have a number of different modules included in this. Now, some of these will take just a few minutes, some even less than 30 seconds, and some of them you'll have to spend a little bit more time on, especially going through, for instance, the Wortschatz and the Phrasen, okay, and then some of the listening comprehension. Those will be a little bit more time consuming, but sometimes it's just a brief 2-3 sentence little overview of something culturally related or a language related, something of that nature. Now, if you want to jump ahead in each of these, you can obviously click on each of these if you'd like, or you can use this little navigation menu, and then you can click on each of those accordingly, okay? This will play a very important role in your weekly exercises, as you'll have to be going through all of those. And then if we look at chapter 1 breakdown, each week I've designed exactly the same way. It includes an overview, learning objectives, to-do list and reading list, multimedia, which includes videos that I've created as well as a PowerPoint, and then 4 very important components: your weekly assignment, weekly discussion board, weekly speaking activity, and weekly assessment, okay? So you will see that your homework, speaking activity are all due on Sunday, okay? And then your assessment is actually due Sunday evening at midnight, which technically is Monday morning. So you have all week to work on all these exercises, okay? But what I would recommend is that you follow this to-do list here. So I'll get to that here shortly. The overview basically it is exactly an overview. I give you a brief insight of what what that week's content will include. Okay, the learning objectives will be what you should be able to do by the end of that week, and then the to-do list and the reading. These are kind of all the same. Essentially, the reading exercises are already listed in the to-do list. I just listed them there as backup information in case you needed more. So you'll see here that my recommendation, okay, it's recommended to complete all of your exercises by Friday. This allows you the weekend to study. The tests and even this assignment is not technically due until Sunday evening, okay? The tests themselves will open up Saturday evening at midnight, and then they'll close Sunday night at midnight. So you have 24 hours to do an online test, which should take you no more than an hour. So basically I break down, as I mentioned, each chapter has 4 sections. So what I recommend is to do one of those sections per day, Monday through Thursday, okay? On the left here are all of the interactive exercises that are listed, okay? If we go back here, you can see that they're these, all of those. So everything that I have listed here is going to be listed in here, okay? As far as the Lehrbuch, the textbook goes, these are just going to be different exercises on each of these different pages. Now, some of these are only going to take 2 minutes. Some of them might take you 10, 15 minutes. It just depends, okay? Some of them, and especially when we get to weeks 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, that where we spread 2 chapters across that period, you're going to have less amount of work to do on each of these days. So when you look at this, it may seem a little overwhelming. And it is a lot of work, but recall that this is an entire 15-week semester shrunk into 7 weeks of work. Okay. That said, I highly recommend that you do each of these on the days that I have highlighted here so that you don't have to wait until the very last minute to do everything and submit everything. Otherwise, you'll be penalized for submitting your work late. Okay, a couple of things that are important. Thursday is when I want you to do your first Moodle discussion forum. Okay, and I'll show you that here in a second. You're going to do an initial post to the prompt that's included, and then you're going to do 2 follow-up posts for your classmates, okay? And then you're also going to have a speaking activity, which is essentially the same as the discussion forum. Some weeks it'll be a little bit different, but the content will be very similar. And the speaking activity will be an opportunity for you to be able to kind of speak out your written response in your discussion forum. And then here Sunday is the day when all your assignments are due. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. Like I said, the reading is the same that's listed in the to-do list. Okay, and then the multimedia, as you can see here, I have different videos to go over different forms of the language. Okay, and then here on the week 1. Interactive and Aufgates, assignment, exercise, verification. So here is where you will submit. So as far as the textbook goes, it doesn't function like a normal ebook where you can do the exercises and then automatically submit them. So you will have to type out those answers, and you should have a text box available in this weekly assignment to do those. The interactive, however, those are auto-graded. So as you work on those will be graded, and I will be able to see that you've done those once you've completed them. But as far as the textbook exercises, you will have to do those separately and then submit them in here. Okay, and your discussion, this is where you will do your initial post plus your 2 follow-ups. And then in here, your speaking activity, I'm going to click on this shortly to show you this. All the directions are there with the prompt for you the questions for you to answer. And this is where you will need the Flipgrid app, okay? And so when we get to Flipgrid, let me just copy and paste that in here. When you get to Flipgrid, okay, you're gonna see this. Okay, so you will have to download the Flipgrid app. It's for free. Just go to the App Store and get that. And then when you open up the link, okay, you'll see you have your questions listed right here. And to start a recording, all you do is you press this plus button, and then you follow the prompts, and then voila. And for these, you will see that all of our responses are going to be on this whole page right here. So you will see your other classmates on here. That's what I want, because I want to treat it like we would like a classroom. So since we don't have a physical classroom to meet in, that's what I want you all to do for that. Okay, so I'm going to go back a page quickly, and we're almost done with the video. There we are. Okay, so chapter 1. So everything is there. Like I said, each week is set up the exact same way. Okay, the overview, learning objectives, to-do list, reading assignment, which is already included in the to-do list, multimedia, PowerPoint, assignment, discussion, speaking, and assessment. Okay, that concludes everything that I wanted to have for this have included in this intro video. I'm really looking forward to working with you, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Danke. Tschüss.